the Unity Party. We call on all peace-loving citizens to join us in denouncing these evil and wicked acts perpetrated by criminally minded individuals.
Firstly, let me use the medium to say we call for calm, we call for peace. I'm speaking from Foya in my compound. It's very tense and being besieged by partisans of the Unity Party, led by one Peter O.J. to include even the district representative. It's inclusive of what is happening in my compound. As we speak, we got two bodies lying down. They have vandalized the compound of the CDC.
The Joint Security is dispatching a special investigative team on electoral violence to Foya local county. And that team is going to investigate the facts, the circumstances under which the violence took place yesterday. We will sit in Monrovia and we do not know what happened in Lopa, but it's for us to go in and find out what really happened. With reports from our Lopa County detachment, it is confirmed that 2 persons have been pronounced dead. 2 persons have been pronounced dead by medical authority. And a coroner jury was constituted to work along with the medical authorities in Lopa to conduct the examination on the remains of those individuals.
The Civil Society Human Rights Advocacy Platform of Liberia, through its human rights monitors in Lofa County, provided an initial report on the violent incidents that occurred in Foyat on Friday, September 29, 2023, allegedly between supporters of CDC and the Unity Party, resulting to the loss of life, is worrisome. The incident is described as horrific and threat to the peace and security of Liberia.
We continue to caution against incendiary, inciting, and violent rhetoric being delivered online, in the print and electronic media, and in our communities. Deliberate misinformation, disinformation, fake news, hate message, extreme militancy, both in dress code and deportment, by some of the young people in political parties, continue to pose a deeply concerning challenge.
At the first round, we call for absolute majority of the vote, meaning you must have 50% plus 1. Then you win the first round, meaning there's no second round. If no candidate obtained absolute majority, 50% plus 1 in the first round, a second ballot shall be conducted on the second Tuesday following the announcement of the results of the first ballot. Second Tuesday, I will end here. I don't have to go all the way down. Second Tuesday following the announcement of the result of the first ballot. If you need to plan for elections, second round.
I'm concerned about the misdirection of our country.
Say you won't be president. You're not finding food for the people. You're not creating means for the people. You're talking about senator or not senator. That didn't the Liberia-VOL. People are not serious.
They see people, they are a bunch of hooligans, bunch of clowns. So such people cannot be entrusted with it. It was so good that they are informed that people, they cannot color and they cannot think they make made up. So you see what is happening now? You see what is happening? That these people, they are unserious people, they are a bunch of hooligans that just want to take over the country and grab whatever they get and go away.
The government sees Mr. Cummings as a threat to them in 2023, so they are trying to do everything to bring this man down.
But I can guarantee you, I will beat those people just like a little baby. When they hear the election result, they will understand that God got me. I'm saying it again. I was reading in the newspaper, someone said, Liberia people will get Joria one-term president. And after the elections, God will make sure that mouth will be closed. Back there, I will defeat them in 2018.
If Liberia really want to have the change, they have to put Kumi forth. You already collaborate, you and collaborating political parties. All you need to do is put your weight behind Cummings. Cummings is a better face. They don't understand the issues. To be astute, who are using, you'll be used. And Labro will go back down the drain. Cummings will send us firm to issues that will go wrong. Because Cummings has that ability to do what is right. Let us not fool ourselves. Bring it yourself, we're going to do what? What have you done for Lufa County? What have you done for rehab? What have you done for himself? People should not fool us around here. We're not stupid around here. We're not stupid. 12 years, they looted this country. More Ali, they all of this squandered the country. Upside down. No control. When you talk the arrogant life, we are speaking to people. Then we'll still put them back.
Cummings not serious man. If Cummings was a serious man, the best decision he ever take in his life. Cummings will be president, maybe won't die or training die. Nah. Cummings not serious man.
You're saying that it is not possible at all. If that will ever happen, it will happen in utopia.
No.
And utopia is a world that does not exist.
It cannot happen. No, I don't want to already say never, ever. But it is not in our generation.
Not even in the generation and generation and generation to come. That is not possible.
But my man, the man cannot concentrate and contemplate. What can he do? That man cannot produce nothing.
I'm one of the proponents in propagating the proper agenda, the PAPD. Then today you say, what are open to offer? You supposed to ask me that kind of English?
Are you being supported?
My brother, I'm saying, don't ask me that question. I think the party is under the obligation.
To do for you?
Yeah.
But they aren't doing.
You ask me and you want me to be more non-pronounced. I think...
Are they doing for you?
I said, I think the party is under the obligation.
That expression means they aren't, they ought to.
I said, the party is under the obligation.
They are doing it for you directly.
Speak English, man, I beg you. Let's move on.
You don't want to come straight.
Honorable Sam Andrew, I don't know what you mean. I said, the party is under the obligation because I'm one of the progenitor.
That is what you get when the hobo pejoratively hobnobs with the hobo bambusu, razudasu, rasmatas politically. He was supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious is a way of saying the president was fantastic. But his political enemies said he was suffering from what I describe as new mono ultra microscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. Yes, it's a word that is supposed to be called silicosis, meaning a lung disease. But in search for the longest word in the dictionary, they pep it up to become a 45-letter word, which is new mono ultra microscopic silicovolcanoconiosis. What an odium! What an ignominious memento! That even at the barbituration of the so much acclimatized, the same subsidy evacuation and barbituration was condemned by a scrupulous, fastidious, puritanica, boisterous, energetic, and a routine to teen, but today for political somnambulism and malocclusion, reticent, taciturn, uncommunicative, and unforthcoming, meaning he has foretold in their poem.
We shall overcome because the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends toward justice. We shall overcome because Carlyle is right. No lie can live forever. We shall overcome because William Cullen Bryant is right. Truth crushed the earth will rise again. We shall overcome because James Russell Lowell is right. Truth forever on the scaffold, wrong forever on the throne. Yet that scaffold sways the future. Behind the dim unknown standeth God within the shadow, keeping watch above his own. We shall overcome because the Bible is right. You shall reap what you sow. We shall overcome. Deep in my heart, I do believe we shall overcome.
Don't trouble nothing too much, you know.
1, 2, 3, loving you. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I want you back. 1, 2, 3, I love you. 5, 6, I'm missing you. I want you back. Long time no see. Out your love, I'm lonely. I miss you. and it's too hard to bear. What have you done to me? I'm waking up in the middle of the night without you, and it's so unfair.
Nine point seven, Kakatama Gibi County on this third day of October with just 7 days to go. Next Tuesday is our voting day in Liberia. And so on the show this morning, this afternoon rather, sorry, most part of the discussion will focus on the voters, the National Elections Commission. My name is Sam Andrews. Thank you so very kindly that you place us on your afternoon itinerary.
And it's so unfair. 1, 2, 3, I'm loving you. 4, 5, 6, I'm missing you. 7, 8, 9, I want you back.
So, with just few days to go, we are counting days now. At first, we're counting years, and then we started to count months, and then weeks, and now we are counting or talking about days. Few days. We've got today, Tuesday, tomorrow, Wednesday, and Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Then Monday, everything is over. It's a rest period. Tuesday, back the full match starts. So as we gradually get to October 10th, which will be next week, Tuesday, as the Bible says, and it shall come to pass, meaning the Tuesday set, there's nothing except some kind of miracle, but it will no doubt come to pass. So Tuesday is set to come to pass. It is balloting day in Liberia to determine who becomes the next president and who becomes the next senator or representative. So, as we all eagerly await Tuesday, we hope and we have the confidence that God will allow us into Tuesday just as He protected us over the years into months and weeks. and now days. So as our anticipation is high because it is a great game, we can wait for Tuesday to begin the match. So we have to appeal to ourselves to avoid what we have been seeing over the days. I told you people that in these last days of the campaign, it was going to be a bubbling atmosphere. Two things essentially that rises in motion: election, electioneering politics, and religion. That is why the caution is so strong on these two. In a twinkling of an eye, emotion rises, and then it can lead to something else because everybody is protective of their belief politically and religiously. They guide it with every sacredness because it is sacred. As much as we hold that to be true, we cannot allow the atmosphere to be one of a chaotic scene. We've had the situation in Lofa County before then. We had a couple of skirmishes in Morovia with the political parties and individual loyalists or fans. And then the cautions from civil society, the media, international partners, National Elections Commission, the government itself. We saw a relative quietude. And in a twinkling of an eye, when we thought that we were making significant gains in terms of fending off violence, the Lofa County situation flared up. That melee was brought under control, but the investigation is still ongoing. We've all listened to the head of John Security, the Minister of Justice, Frank Musadin, alongside the Police Inspector General, with the other security experts, and he confirmed that electoral investigative team within the John Security, specifically for that, based on their expertise, was dispatched or has been dispatched to do a forensic investigation. Beyond that, the findings will be made public. So we all, with patience and calm, look up to the John Security. We can advise ourselves not to preempt anything. You don't want to preempt that investigation because sometimes preempting a situation can exacerbate it. It can add a negative spice to it. You want to leave it squarely in the hands of the John Security. That is a delicate situation. It did involve the life or took the life of two persons as confirmed by the Minister of Justice. So you want to keep it quiet, stay calm, and let's wait for the outcome. Like the minister will assure, whoever that the investigation will prove culprit, the law will take precedence impartially. What that means is if the investigation found Unity Party to have committed the act, orchestrated it, executed it, the law will take precedence against Unity Party. If the investigation shows that the Coalition for Democratic Change organized and executed it, the law will take its course. Nobody will cause violence that will lead to the death of people, and you expect to go with impunity. As much as it is your right to live in peace and stability, that you wouldn't want anyone to infringe on your right, neither create insecurity and cause instability. You should not do it to the next person, at least to talk about death. You don't want to die. If any one of you now, if the question was asked to any one of you, do you want to die? You wouldn't say yes. And you need not ask me, Sam Andrews, that question. I wouldn't beat around the bush to tell you yes. I would say no. But it's divine. Anytime it can happen. But from a human perspective, it is not your right to take the life of another person and you remain alive. And that is why some people, some Liberians, are suggesting capital punishment. They see capital punishment as a deterrent, but our law forbids that because there are too many provisions, too many lines by which the justice can be served. So we not much interest in capital punishment. So you want to keep the atmosphere peaceful. We beg us all, with these few days we've got to go. Whatever has happened, the investigation is on. But all we can do is to wait. And in our institutions, in our individual selves, we can refrain from all of those things. Everything violent, everything chaotic. How we talk, what we say, how we say it. Everybody have the responsibility, but everybody isn't exercising the responsibility to maintain peace and stability in this country. And I can say, from what I have observed, that the main culprit of electoral violence in these elections, in this campaign period, the main pathological culprit is the media. You know what I observe? Instead of pacifying, it's exacerbating. And it's all because of pecuniary gains. You can do that. You have to look at your country. It's not a loyalty either. No, it doesn't help. You think that you're doing something good, but you're plunging your own society into something chaotic. You get on social media, read some of the lines, listen to some of the outlets, read some of the lines in the local dailies. In such a time, who is more positioned to maintain a stable, secure atmosphere? Who everybody looks up to? The media. But if everybody is sided, then what do you have? So when the Lo-Fi incident came out, guess what? Somebody wrote a line or wrote a couple of lines. I read that. And such lines were not lines for normal mind. The idea was that, oh, look, this thing is like this. So you know why? Let's push it against this person. Let's push it against this institution. And you can do that. Everything you intend to do, you have to look at the consequence. You have to think about the aftermath. You don't take a decision when you have not understood the magnitude or the aftermath. You got to first look at your security, your safety. Like the people say in journalism, no story worth the life of a journalist. Equally so, there is no right to the journalist to say anything he or she wants to say that will endanger his own safety, endanger the safety of another person, and plunge the country into a chaotic situation. The atmosphere is volatile. The justice minister couldn't have put it any better. I couldn't stop listening to that over and over. People, I beg us all. We agree we have our rights to speak. We have our rights under the Constitution to assemble. We have freedom of association. We have freedom of speech. But let not our speech, as guaranteed by the Constitution, plunge us into a situation that we can handle. You can tell who is who You can tell what atmosphere it is. You've got to be very careful about what you write, what you say to people, how you say it, when you say it, where you say it, thinking about the consequences, thinking about the consequences. So it will put you in the position to be very mindful. The Minister of Justice couldn't have put it any better than this. If this can resonate or hasn't resonated with any one of you, from the presidential candidates to the legislative candidates to all of us who will be voting on next Tuesday, if it hasn't, let it be. Let it resonate. Have a listen.
We continue to caution against incendiary, inciting, and violent rhetoric being delivered online, in the print and electronic media, and in our communities. Deliberate misinformation, disinformation, fake news, hate message, extreme militancy, both in dress code and deportment, as some of the young people in political parties continue to pose a deeply concerning challenge. Those who incite violence are as guilty as those who commit the actual acts of violence. We urge those having grievances regarding the conduct of the elections to direct their grievances to the appropriate code of law. Continue to caution against incendiary, inciting, and violent rhetoric being delivered online, in the print and electronic media, and in our communities. Deliberate misinformation, disinformation, fake news, hate message, extreme militancy, both in dress code and deportment, as some of the young people in political parties continue to pose a deeply concerning challenge. Those who incite violence are as guilty as those who commit the actual acts of violence. We urge those having grievances regarding the conduct of the elections to direct their grievances to the appropriate code of law and not seek to settle them in the streets. Honor our law. An aggrieved individual cannot be a plaintiff, judge, jury, and executioner. Law enforcement is prepared and willing to work with members of the public in preserving the peace. The men and women in uniform are your friends. They are trained to respect and protect you. We ask that you also respect them as they represent the rule of law. Law enforcement and the public must work together collaboratively and supportively. Notwithstanding law enforcement's willingness to work with the public in preserving the peace, no one has a right to disrupt the peace. Anyone or group thinking otherwise must reconsider. We caution members of the public not to test the resolve of the joint security. Any attempt by anyone to disrupt the peace will be met with the full force of the law.
Now, this is where we go from what the Justice Minister said, which the National Elections Commission, from what I have been running through my bits and pieces of info, is to be blamed partly for, if not all, most of what is happening. A couple of weeks ago, I talked about campaign finance. I had the opportunity to have had Ignatius Wisse, who is the man responsible for political affairs of the National Elections Commission. And when the concern was raised about campaign expenditure in the context of overspending, outspending, or just accountability, he said that responsibility was seconded to Integrity Watch through a memorandum of understanding, and he could not speak to that. Now, in their same law, the election law of 1986, it talked about exactly what the Justice Minister said, that National Elections Commission has the right to institute penalty, but that penalty is monetary. Equally so, given the magnitude, like what we have seen over the time leading into October 10th, the National Elections Commission can notify the security of the state. In my opinion, had NEC gone to that part of their law and raised the issue when it was starting from the onset, the security will have known what to do apart from their own observation as security people. They have their own path, they have their own anomaly too. We'll come to that. But I've been running through the elections law, and I will try to share it with you, given what the Minister of Justice said relative to these comments that had been coming up from the first day that the National Elections Commission got the responsibility. So NEC is the referee. NEC is the institution under the Constitution, with the Constitution, by the Constitution, to regulate, to bring into checkmating everything equally as of vital importance with its preparation. Anything short of a department representative of the atmosphere or not representative of the atmosphere, NEC will have to raise the alarm. So yeah, what it says, you listen carefully. That is why it's always good to search document, and it's not good to make statements when you have not known the facts. In 10.2 of the elections law, not 10.2, but 10.22, if you have a copy, go there. In 10.22 of the elections law, hear what it says. Caption: abusive and profane language and slogans as election offense. Did you hear me? 10.22 of the elections law. Caption: abusive and profane language and slogans as an election offense. Hear what it says. It shall be an election offense punishable by a fine of $1,000 for political party when having their political rallies or demonstrations to abuse another political party or its leader or leaders by the use of profane language or slogan trending to reflect on such party or its leaders or a particular ethnic group or groups. 10.22 of the election law, caption abusive and profane language and slogans as an election offense. So this is what the law say. This is the new election law. So from the onset, the National Elections Commission saw these things, heard these things, and would not say anything, would not notify the authorities, but rather would wait for civil society, international partners, some media people to talk. You cannot be the referee. It is within your law, and your law is being breached or disregarded, and you will not say anything. So NEC is part of the whole uneasy atmosphere. NEC is a culprit too, because the law said No political party. Watch the expressions that people have been using around here. People go to campaign rally. They concentrate on a given political party, calling names, saying all kinds of awful things, going personal, and a lot more. And the law said, no, it can't be that way. Campaigning is intellectualism. It's to say what you have done, what you intend to do, how you intend to do it. Campaign is a friendly atmosphere. Politically, we are divided. That means we have not the same philosophy or the same idea, but we are friends. We are brothers. We are sisters. Naturally, everybody can be on the same side. What makes it unique is when we, in our diversity, can hold together as one people in our intellectual selves. Yes. Yes. In our intellectual selves. That's what makes it unique. Political campaign is a game, just like we watch the football games. Like today, we will watch, there are a couple of UEFA Champions League matches that will be played. And what do you see of the people? They are together. They are expressing their intellectual selves. They are amusing themselves with one another, but they are different by belief. Some for Real Madrid, some for Shakhtar Donetsk, but they come together. They exercise their social basic rights. They intellectualize. But politically, but from a footballing perspective, they are different. But they don't see themselves different beyond the game. They are only different temporarily, just as we are different temporarily. So what we say, how we say it, it doesn't say that we are right or we are more patriotic or we are more political. So I want to believe that the National Elections Commission raised this thing from the onset and said, look, John Security, we're hearing this, we're hearing that. Please bring it under control. If it continues, it might spew something else or it might spread. Because our law forbids that. It shall be an election offense punishable by a fine of $1,000 for political party when having their political rallies or demonstrations to abuse another political party or its leaders by the use of profane language or slogan trending or tending to reflect on such party as its leaders or a particular ethnic group or groups. So what it's saying is, simply to put it in context or to simplify it, that it is wrong, one. Two, it is a breach of the law. It is immoral, it is unethical, it is a breach of the elections law. Two, the law empowers the National Elections Commission to institute or to reprimand. That means to take action. And that action is monetary. Fine $1,000. The amount isn't specified, but I want to believe, in my estimation, it is Liberian dollars because it was written at the time it was written, and we are liberty people. So it is not weighty enough. Somebody can cause a problem and pay 1,000. But the law equally gives the National Elections Commission added power. It may not be reflected here, but rather the National Elections Commission can use its discretion, having an understanding of the nature of it, to notify the Joint Security or the National Security to move in and put it under control. That no one has the right to use any profane language, neither call name of a political party or your rival, or to go on the person's person, to use remarks or to make statements that would trigger, because the essence of communication is to elicit response. As I'm speaking to you now, some of you will take your telephone to call. When you take your telephone to call, it means that I have made an impact, and that impact is your decision to call. So I have elicit response. Now, how I say or what I say will cause you to react based on how you want to react, having said what I said. So if you look at a given political party and say they are a bunch of this, you look at a given candidate who is reputable by creation and what he does and who he is institutionally, and say he is this, she is that. You are telling that person to react. If that person can react, the supporters will take on emotion as the weapon to react. Then what happens? The atmosphere is chaotic. It's no longer an intellectual atmosphere now. You can sell your manifesto as you ought to, as provided by the law. So NEC has the right to call the authorities. 3, it forbids branding people on the basis of their background, called ethnicity. What person, a Grebo man, person, the Mandingo man? The law says no. You look at a person who is contesting, la man, a Mandingo man, who can me vote for la man? You know what you have done? Not only is it immoral, not only is it ethical, not only is it unconstitutional, but you have endangered, you have created a psychological breakdown for that man. You have done a lot more, and you have caused the person, or you will be telling the person to react, and you don't know how that person will react based on what he or she has heard and how he or she is hurt. So the law say, from a psychological standpoint, to have a peaceful atmosphere, let nobody tread this route. Let everybody just talk about their platform, because the people want to hear your platform. They want to know what you will do, how you will do it, when you will do it. That's all. There's only one commodity you got to sell. There's only one product you got to sell: your manifesto. Nothing beyond your manifesto. And if you can sell your manifesto, you deviate from your manifesto and just concentrating on the person whom you should not concentrate on, because he or she is not concentrating on you, or he or she is not your product to sell. Nobody going to know much about your manifesto. The third law of intellectualism said, no, don't go on the person, called ad hominem. Ad hominem is where you leave the issue and then you try to attack the person. That kind of fallacy in intellectualism is forbidden. You can't do that. And that's what you see happening with most of these people. Now, from the onset, the National Elections Commission needed to have brought this under control, because that's what the law said. It shall be punishable. First in the caption, 10.22. Yeah, please go there. Maybe I'm making a mistake. And if I'm making a mistake, you'll correct me, but I'm sure I'm not making a mistake, because I do have the 1986 Constitution, and it is what we are using, the 1986 Elections Law. Caption 10.22, abusive and profane language and slogans as an election offense. It shall be an election offense punishable by a fine of $1,000 for political party when having their political rallies or demonstrations to abuse another political party or its leaders by the use of profane language or slogan tending to reflect on such party or its leaders or a particular ethnic group or groups. 10.2 still goes on. Unfair political practices. Unfair political practices. What I'm saying is the National Elections Commission is a corporate tool. It can sit supinely as if it is not aware of these things that are happening. The National Elections Commission is the referee. As much as we will chide or we will criticize and condemn and bring these political leaders and their partisans who are making these statements to cause uneasiness, to heighten tension in the country, the National Elections Commission has a law. In the law, there is a provision that says you can bring this under control. And so from the onset, had NET been raising these issues and enlightening the joint security or national security, let's think, we would not have had the kind of magnitude we've had over the days. 10.23, 10.23, unfair political practices. 10.23 of the same elections law. What it says, under the multi-party system provided under the Constitution, every citizen of legal age of this republic is entitled to join any political party of his choice and may resign therefrom for any reason without molestation. Administrative officials, military and paramilitary personnel, or any personnel or person or persons shall be guilty of an election offense if they arrest, detain, mistreat, interfere with any citizen because of the exercise of his political rights to join a political party of his choice, or because he refused to join a party in power, or because he is seeking membership in another party, or being a member of a party in power, resign therefrom in the exercise of his political franchise, or being such a member, befriend a member of any opposition party, any administrative official, military or paramilitary personnel, or any other person or persons in support of a particular party or candidate who shall violate any of the provisions of this section shall be guilty of an election offense and punishable by a fine of $500 in case of such a person other than an employee or an official or government, and in the case of an official of government, military, paramilitary personnel, he or she shall be summarily dismissed from office upon the recommendation of the commission. Should there be any injury sustained from such misconduct or damage or loss suffered, the affected person or persons shall be entitled to civil remedy at the law. That means the law is at your disposal to protect you. Unlawful, section 10.24. Section 10.24. Unlawful election propaganda. Unlawful election propaganda. Not lawful, but unlawful. Unlawful election propaganda. Section 10.24(1). Prohibited acts. Prohibited acts. Prohibit means don't do. It's forbidding. Legal forbidding. 1. It shall be an offense against the elections law for any organized political party to do any of the following. 1. Disseminate propaganda which contains false statements intended to 1. Create unrest, 2. Disloyalty, 3. Rebellion or terrorism amongst the Liberian people, 2. Overthrow or subvert the authority into disrepute at home or abroad. B. Publish anonymous writings affecting and commenting on the conduct of an election, like what you see happening around here. People using pseudonyms. They're using pseudonyms, writing a number of things. I tell you, I read something. I was just strolling through social media and I came across it and I screenshot it. It was damaging. You know what the person was saying? Look, the thing that happened in Lofa, let you push it this way. Let's put it on this political party. Let's continue to be consistent with it, that this political party has done it, and let's magnify. That's the same thing it's saying here. Anonymous writings affecting or commenting on the conduct of an election or allegations derogatory to the government without affecting thereto the name of the publisher or writer. 3. C. Engage or consent to the engagement of aliens as members or officials of an organized political party or independent candidate. And on and on we can go. All of them here, 10.25, 10.25A, 10.25B, and on and on. So my people, you see what's happening now. My argument here, had the National Elections Commission start to speak from the onset, all of these things would not have happened. Okay, that will be doing it. So they had a news conference today. We are just few days away. So they have started to have a news conference to update the public with their preparation. The chairman will meet and her officials or assemble every Tuesday to give a news conference. At that news conference, she talk about the contentious issue, the voter roll, which led some political parties to take the National Elections Commission to court. That they've done with it, political parties have started receiving their copies. It is a process, and that process is ongoing. Have a listen to her.
The FRR for the 2023 presidential and legislative elections will be made available to all political parties, independent candidates, and other stakeholders upon completion of the ongoing process to secure the data. As per the law, a list of precincts was published on 11 September 2023. Additionally, to make the process more transparent, as has been done in the past, the final registration roll is encrypted to be pasted at the 2080 precincts across the country prior to the election day. As you may be aware, elections operations involve the recruitment and deployment of huge numbers of personnel in order to be on schedule for the conduct of the 10th October 2023 general elections. The NEC has recruited 79 electoral district coordinators, 382 electoral supervisors, and 30,812 polling staff. In the meantime, the National Elections Commission training section has concluded training of magisterial staff who are now training electoral district coordinators and electoral supervisors who will then train polling staff across the country. Consistent with commitment to ensuring the participation of all eligible voters, the Commission, in collaboration with partners, has drawn up appropriate strategies to provide civic and voter education for the 2023 general elections. Accordingly, with the assistance of the UNDP Liberia Electoral Support Project, the National Elections Commission established 81 civic and voter education centers across the 73 electoral districts of Liberia that are currently engaged in outreach activities in various communities, including door-to-door and face-to-face campaign at the grassroots level throughout the country. Additionally, considering the relevance of gender mainstreaming in electoral process, the NEC, with support of UN Women, is undertaking a series of gender outreach activities across Liberia. Many other partners and Liberian civil society groups, many of whom have been accredited by NEC, as well as political parties and candidates, are also assisting with voter education efforts for which the NEC is grateful. Meanwhile, in order to facilitate an effective and robust civic and voter education exercise, several educational and awareness materials have been produced and are being distributed nationwide. These include posters, flyers, t-shirts, caps, banners, jingles, and drums, videos of voting steps, and soon to come, videos of tallying steps will be distributed. Additionally, the NEC has entered into memorandum of understanding with some 37 community-based and 7 Monrovia-based radio stations to assist with CBE and media activities. The Commission also launched a number of radio programs to disseminate information about the electoral process and has access to some 30 rural community radio stations through internet.
The chairman of the National Elections Commission, David Etta Brown Lasana, at a news conference or the commission's Tuesday briefing. That briefing runs every Tuesday. Still with the National Elections Commission, another thing came out on them. And given the sensitivity of it, we thought to talk about it, but they brought this on themselves. So I thought to share it with you. In my opinion, they brought it on themselves. They should be reacting to this. Though when I say reacting to this, their media, isn't as proactive, but reactive. We find ourselves, or the commission find itself, in a delicate situation. The situation is very fragile right now. That is why everybody who have an understanding of what election atmosphere is cautioning. Hence, the commission isn't out of the sensitivity of the atmosphere. Moreover, they will have to understand the propaganda against it. From the first day everybody started to talk about first round, the National Elections Commission, they didn't know that it was putting itself in a squeeze situation by not speaking against it. Now, a number of things are working. So their media team is not as proactive as it ought to be, but rather reactive. They would sit down, they would see the signs, wouldn't say anything. When it goes into the public and it is consumed by the public, and the public begins to digest it and discuss it here and there, then they sit down and write a press release and say, the attention of the National Elections Commission has been drawn to a front page Africa caption, pa 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 pa. You don't wait until these things come up. You start clearing them. Start clearing them. Now, Yahweh the road. I just thought to share it with you. Yahweh the road. Very. It's not bad to do that, but you can be reacting to these things all of the time. Don't allow it to happen. It said the attention of the National Elections Commission has been drawn to an article in the Liberian Daily Observer and circulated on social media, attributed to former Liberian Information Minister Lamini Warite under the caption, "Only NEC can rig election." In the article, Mr. Warite is reported as saying the National Elections Commission is the only body that has the power to categorically rig the October 10th polls. The NEC, in no uncertain terms, categorically denies and condemns these allegations. This story has no basis in fact. It is false, misleading, and a dangerous attempt to undermine the electoral process and expose the commission to disrepute and engender members of its staff, while at the same time threatening the peace. The NEC shows the Liberian people and the public that the commission does not rig elections, as there is no record to prove such as dangerous and baseless claim. On the contrary, the NEC conducts free, fair, inclusive, and credible elections, and the records are available from past elections. And for the October 10th general elections, Liberians can rest assured that the NEC will do so as well. Their reaction went further to say the NEC calls on all Liberians registered to go to the polls on October 10th to vote, assured that their votes will count. As part of enhancing transparency of voting, counting, and tallying processes, the NEC urges all candidates, independent and those from political parties, to send their agents to the 500 plus polling stations. They indicated the number that 5,890 polling places in the 2,080 precincts to take account of the polling and counting of votes at those polling places. The statement went further to say all their reaction at the end of polling and counting, agents of candidates and political parties would sign the record of the count, attesting to the accuracy of the process. At the polling place, the agents of the two parties, candidates with the highest number of votes in the polling place, will be given copies of the record of the count. Additionally, the announcement of winners begins at the polling place when the record of the count is posted on the wall in the polling place in full view of candidates and party agents and local, regional, and international observers. Next statement went further to say, reactively, it must be noted that a copy of the results is put in an envelope known as T, and it is spelled T-E-E. T, which is sealed in the presence of all agents and observers. The T's are later transferred to the election magistrate offices where they are copied or opened and tallied in full view of everyone. And all the results are sent electronically to the NEC headquarters where the results are announced. First preliminary as they come, and then the final results are announced. The commission assures all Liberians, candidates, and political parties, stakeholders, political actors, and observers that the NEC is committed to ensuring that the necessary safeguards put in place for the conduct of the elections, to which end the Commission will announce the outcome of the votes from the October 10th presidential and legislative election, is credible manner. Finally, NEC calls on all Liberians and stakeholders to always contact the Commission when they are in doubt and refrain from these kinds of dangerous and unfounded stories that have the propensity to not only undermine the credibility of the electoral process, but that could also put the employees of the NEC in harm's way and even threaten the peace. And this reaction is from their public affairs deputy director of communications, Prince Dumba. So they expect that the citizens will just take it this way. We have to graduate from this kind of stuff in our country. It's been like this too long now. People will think that when they ought to do something and they ought to do and did not do, or they're in their weakness, and people capitalize on it and say some things. So when they write a long statement and send it to the media, then they have done the needful. They have done the most honorable thing. Then they are more rational. No, you don't wait until it reaches such a point. The media team of every institution, and there should be a lesson for every institution, not only the National Elections Commission, to be proactive, be sensitive enough, understand the atmosphere, know the sensitivity of it. You don't sit down when something has happened or a given institution or person is impinging on your reputation, then you come up and say, we read, the attention has been, I don't know how many years I've been hearing this thing. Y'all have to change that phrase now. Y'all have to change that line. How many years I've heard that thing? It's just like a template. The attention of this, the attention of that has been drawn. You know why you're saying it has been drawn? Because you are aware, you saw it, you heard, you saw the signs, and you opted to do nothing. When it got worse, then you say attention has been drawn. You're not appeasing anybody to say attention has been drawn. You're not appeasing anybody. It just shows weakness. I can never ever write a line with in such a situation or whatever the situation, attention has been drawn. You know what that expression means? The signs were before you. It was visible enough. You opted not to do anything because you could not read the sign. When it is out and people have consumed it, they have digested it, and they're discussing it here and there, and your reputation is at stake, and you are afraid now, then you come to say in a more sorrowful, pathetic manner, the attention of this institution has been drawn. You don't allow it to happen. You got to be proactive. Can't be reactive. Reactivism is where you sit, you see the various signs, you allow it to happen. When it falls on you or when it's so weighted on you, then you take pen and paper to write and think when you write that way, then it clears the air. The damage has already been caused. Now, who is at stake? Who everybody looking to? Who has been accused of attempting or will rig the election or steal the elections? The expressions that we have here all over the place. The National Elections Commission, not the political parties. Because NEC will sit there. Let me tell you, your media team has to be very proactive. You bluff too much in that National Elections Commission. People not operating as the way they ought to operate. They bluff too much. I know it because we go there. When you want this other one, when you're explaining that they're bluffing. You see them walking around like they're rendering favor, like, or you went to beg for something like it is not national. So people are writing, there's propaganda. You're not understanding. Your media team, you understand the propaganda side. We stay in campaign. You have to understand how propaganda works. Some institutions, some individuals will try to corner you. The National Elections Commission will try to put you in a situation that will get you confused. They'll try to put the most part of the public against you. So if your media people not sensitive to these things and you see the signs, well, you are off. That's why I can say to that. Thank you ever so much. So let's move to another on Bits and Pieces on Voice of Liberia 104.1 Monrovia, Voice of Liberia 89.7 Kakata, Magibi County. And also, you can log on to our online radio, www.voiceofliberiaradio.com. So it's just, we got just few days to go. 7 days. 7 days to go. Next said, everything is in place. So let me turn to all of us who got the right by our registration and certification by the National Elections Commission to determine who goes into the legislature and who goes to the presidency. You want to be as responsible, as refined, as intelligent as you are until October 10th, which is next week. You don't want to cause any stir that will affect you as a person and affect also your political institution. With these 7 days, you want to keep yourself quiet. You want to refrain from things that are not right, that may not help your candidate or your party. You want to go on voting day and cast your ballot and you move. The law calls for secret balloting. The law calls for secret balloting. It is a known fact in this country that most part of our society loves to bypass, to duplicate. You want to avoid that. You want to avoid cheating. You want to avoid duplicating. You want to avoid doing it double, but rather to do it single. Cast your ballot and then move. You don't want to take your camera with you so that you take picture to tell a given person that you voted for him or her. Listen, if you ever did that and show it to a candidate, you know what runs through the candidate mind? The candidate will not tell you it openly, but within the candidate himself or herself knows that you have mental problem. Some of you who do that, you don't know. The candidate is excited because he wants the vote. It also means that he pays you or she pays you, so you are confirming. Because if you didn't get paid for something, if it is natural and not artificial, if it is honest and not teleguided, you will not carry telephone, you will not carry your camera to snap that identical vote or person that you mark. You wouldn't do it. Voting is conscience. That's why they say secret ballot is your conscience. It's between you and the ballot papers. So if it is natural, you have chosen your candidate. You believe in your candidate. He convinced you or she convinced you with his or her manifesto. And you go into the booth and then cast it. But if you went there with a phone to snap, you are telling the candidate, though it is wrong, but I'm telling you the psychological part of it. I'm telling you the consequence. That candidate would never ever respect you again. You know how the candidate sees you? As a fool. And you know what a fool is? A fool is the S word. The S word means a person who isn't normal but appears to be normal and can be used by a sensible person. That is why all of you people who running around, they're giving you $5, they're giving you $10. It is against you. They're trucking you people here and there. They're influencing you people, attempting to buy your votes. They are simply telling you that you don't have sense. They have sense more than you. That in the beginning I can say, I listen to that expression. The beginning I can say you drunk. That means you are a fool. So they'll use you. It is not hurting them. It is not going against them. They are the ones benefiting because they want to get to that public office. So they see you as a bunch of fools that they can use. So they think that they can just throw $5 US at you, $10 US at you, just like the rich man and Lazarus, that Lazarus will feel on the crumb. So that's how they see you. When they're trucking you, when they're giving you $5, they're giving you 1,000 liberty, telling you to bring your voting card or to do this, to do that. They're telling you that you are a bunch of fools. Since you don't have sense to maintain or to know that you are independent, or your card that you have is for your future, then let's help you to make you more a fool. That's what it is. So you want to avoid that on elections day. You want to avoid all of those things that are not necessary. You want to prove that you are a citizen, refined citizen. You go, you cast your ballot. It is not for you. If your candidate is not announced as winner, well, then that's it. It means that he just didn't get the number, but you gave him your vote. If the next person wins, it means that the next person got the number. So the next time you can try. That's how it is. So you want to be careful. We got 7 days to go. Today is Tuesday. And those of you who are contesting political parties, if you're not convinced that your message has resonated, well, then I don't know. By this time, if I'm contesting, Sam Andrews should know that his message has resonated. 7 days to go, it's wrap up. That's injury time. Like we'll see tonight in most of the football matches. That's injury time now. By then, you must have scored the goals. Even though, just as it happened in football, it can happen in politics. Last minute of time, you can make some kind of breakthrough. So by now, if your message didn't resonate, well, then it's up to you. But I showed very many of you, if not all, your messages have resonated. All right. That will be doing it for that. Let me talk this briefly, and then I open the line, and then we can talk till the close of the show. Liberia isn't, not that Liberia isn't, but it is becoming the normal. But it cannot be the normal. We can make it the normal. No. This is a determinant in every election. It is a determinant in every election debate. People would think that debate not necessary. The person has done this, the person has done that, candidate A has done this, candidate A has done this, so there's no need to go for a debate. That debate is not necessary. And debate doesn't give you vote. That's how most people think. It is all because our society isn't as enlightened as other society, but we are gradually getting there. You know how I know that? Because these elections period, you find that the people are curious about the issues than previous elections or past elections that they were falling prey to candidates for rice and money. So their emphasis, if you follow most of the campaign rallies of these people, most of the issues now are what they are demanding, what they are curious of is what this person has done. They want to see why they must elect him or her, though he or she have not gone there, but they want to know what he or she did. That something must be shown. It may not be significant. They don't want anything elaborate, but they want something they can be convinced that this person did. And that is what is giving very many of the candidates hard time now. And it wouldn't be a surprise if few new guys and women go in the legislature. Equally so, it wouldn't be a surprise if very many of the old guys remain old there. Because if you watch, if you listen to most of the people, if you listen to most of the districts, you hear the people just saying, most of the guys, they just want to go there because of money. They just want to go there because their friend and dad, they're talking about the money. They just want to go there for this. They just want to go there. So when you hear people talking about that, you know the next thing they can resolve to? But the people that they're letting just be there. Because when the people go there, that's the same thing. They will be like the same people that were complaining against. Because they have not shown anything. What they're campaigning on is other people's error. Watch the trend of the campaign. This person hasn't done this. This person hasn't done that. If I'm elected, this is what I will do. You'll give me. I can promise you. And you know, the rhetorics today is not strong as the rhetorics in the past. People say stronger things that the people were convinced. They gave them their votes, overwhelming votes. At the close of that vote, what happened? The people saw nothing. Some of them, they took the legislature as a tea party. They amuse and mesmerize and fantasize the legislature. Have no time for the people. So what happened? The people now are concerned. So right now, it's more of the issue or issues. Debate is very significant. Debate is a decider. You can run the cleanest, finest, most palatable campaign. Your product can be so juicy. And you are convinced that you will win the election. But you can lose it at debate or you can win it at debate. A person hasn't done. There is a record in this world for that and in Liberia. Some people didn't do much. But they went to the debate. And what they said at the debate and how they said it, the people changed their mind and said, we can vote for this man. We can vote this lady. Given what she has said, we are convinced that when we elect her, she will do it. Debate is a factor. Debate is very significant. People think that in Liberia, no, you should not go to a debate. Debate is not important because you have already done or you will do. No. Also, the second part of debate, it gives the rest of the people an understanding of your mental IQ, where you want to go, how you want to go there. The people should have a preview. Debate is very essential. It happens all over the world. So the boy had a debate today, and I was told that only a few persons out of the 10 that went there to show their intellectual prowess, Alan Brown, Benun Krumau, Richard Miller, Joshua Terry, and Sheikh Mustafa Kuyate. The elite political figures, I am told, were out of the debate. President George Weah, the incumbent seeking re-election. Former Vice President Joseph Boakai, who wants to get back into the presidency. He was there, but vice president. And former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf wants to sit on the presidential seat, having tasted the vice presidential seat. Lucini Camara, former finance minister, standard bearer of the All Liberian Coalition Party, ACO for short, and Willem Tudor. The debate, I am told, is purely on health, the economy, education, the rule of law, peace, security, agriculture, food security, foreign policy, youth empowerment, drug abuse. So those are the thematics that the people, or few of the thematics that they needed, or they organized the debate on to address how you address when you want to be president. How can you address this? The economy is this. It's at this level. You want to be president. How are you going to address this issue? Liberia faces an appalling situation with agriculture. For years now, we have always depended on other countries. Importation of food is our bedrock. How are you going to address the issue of agriculture that will make Liberia or your presidency, Liberia, self-reliant? Couple of issues. That's all. You just run through these thematics. And some people stay away because they think it's not. In other countries, you don't go to a debate. You lost that election. If you went to the debate, how you will debate the issue? You win the election or you lost. Debate is very, very essential. Even the woman who's sitting on her market table, she hasn't gone to school. She doesn't have that understanding, but she knows she can listen and understand. That is why Internews said, together with their partners, they will put it all around. They will set live screen and speakers all over. I think this is the first time it has happened in Liberia of such nature, so that people everywhere can hear, can watch. So that woman sitting and listening to the radio or the loudspeaker and hearing a given candidate talking about how he or she will address some of the hardships they are going through and come around our Oma area, say she's selling her coal, say, oh, it will be this, it will be that. The coal people will not be doing this, will not be that. That Oma hearing it, she said, oh, that you the man talking, oh, I can vote for the man. Even though the mayor, I'm seeing here, he can't what area to campaign, but I think the man talking, I believe it. I will vote for that man. That's another aspect of debate. That's why debate is always carried live. Everybody, everywhere. Yeah, the watch. Debate is very essential. It's very good. It's advantageous. It is a determinant. Just as people boast of crowd, so it is intellectualism or a debate. As much as you can stand before the crowd and address them and talk, the same way with debate. Rival your people Your opponents in the hall, but only few. So the second presidential debate is on the 6th in Banga, on the 6th. That's this week. The first one, point sure. So we can say that's great. Former Finance Minister Lucini Camara, Sheikh Mustafa Kuyate, Benu Krumah, Richard Miller, and Jasra Terry. That's it. Those are our talking points. Thank you ever so much for exercising patience as you follow bits and pieces that we threw out. So it is your turn now. Let's discuss. What's your say? Have your say on 0770 907 907 0880 907 907. And you are on Bits and Pieces on Voice of Liberia 104.1 Morovia, Voice of Liberia 89.7 Kakatama Gibi County. Log on to our online radio, www.voiceofliberiaradio.com. Facebook, put in the search box, Voice of Liberia 0770 907 907 0880 907 907. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, how you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine. Thank you. And you?
Yeah, I'm Oliver Williams calling from my Johnson Bay.
Let's hear you, Mr. Williams.
Yeah. Oh, the only thing I got to say, brother, is the politics today. You can say almost like people are playing games. You hear me? So for Liberia politics, let me just say we're not ready yet. We're not ready yet. Oh, I got to say, Liberia.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for calling. Have a nice day. Good afternoon. 0770-907-907, 0880-907-907 are the numbers to have your say. 0770-907-907, 0880-907-907, and you are on the air. Good afternoon.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing fine. And you?
Yeah, I'm all right. You have said it all, but we just got to talk to that election commission to do better things so that the country will move forward. She's doing things that people not even certify. By now, we're supposed to see our voting roll long term to know your standing point. So let her do better things for this election.
So how is it in your area? Has NEC Place that up in your area?
Not seen it yet.
Where did you register?
I registered in Mount Bagley.
And the center you register is where it is placed. So you go there and then you check for your name and your full identity, right? So if you haven't, then it means that you have not gone there since you registered. Thank you. Have a nice day. Okay. Good afternoon.
Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon. 0770-907-907, 0880-907-907, and you are on Bits and Pieces on Voice of Liberia 104.1, Voice of Liberia 89.7, Kakatama Gibi County. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Teresa.
Teresa what?
Johnny.
Teresa Johnny.
Yeah.
Let's hear you, Mama.
Thank you so much. All that you have said is truth. But if you are lazy, you are supposed to wait from the beginning to educate our people. As I'm like came from work, I've student the station, and I was interested to listen. So next time, please, election you should do it sooner so that our people will be educated, so they will not be fooled. Thank you so much.
Thank you for calling. Have a nice day. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You are on the air, sir.
Yeah. How are you, brother?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Thank you. And you?
My name is Akoma. I'm calling for calling.
What is your full name?
My name is Kroma.
Yeah, let's hear you, Mr. Kruma. You want to speak louder?
Yeah. Only issue I want to speak about election already. So for me, everybody get out on understand. West Africa, only way our country will be developed, that is people stay on there. Now, someone following the fact that nobody will move them because they stay on there, they do most of the work. The thing that is so get for that, they already get it. They do it to go work. Nobody get it, they move on it tomorrow, can be on it. Only one for the country to be that is people stay on there. Yeah, that one. You put out there, they hungry, coming. You know, go now for you, they need they put hungry, nothing will get all of that.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for calling. Have a nice day. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. 0770-907-907. 0880-907-907. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, this is Mark Bowman.
Mark Bowman.
Yeah.
Let's hear you. Calling from where, Mark?
I call you from Toti, lower, upper Maserado.
Let's hear you, sir.
Well, I want to say thank you ever so much for the education you provided for the public. There are some things that you explained that even myself did not know relating to this, our election matter. And especially the one that is carrying the young people $5 for a vote. And I said to myself, from the day I voted after the teacher, I never wore any other politician teacher, and I don't wish to wear anyone teacher. These are even fees $5 that myself, from my hand work, I can earn. But you see people taking, they are taking from one country to another. For $5, they are taking politicians. You know, I like how you put it. They are just selling their stupidity because telling the voters say, I'm stupid and I want to prove to you that I'm stupid. Why in the world you're hosting in the future, you take somebody's picture, and you can show them so they can give you $5 because they previously gave you the first $5. But all in all, I want to say thank you, and I pray that all of us will keep this peace because some of us were youth when we walk in, and we live in exile. Today we got our children, and they are doing so well. We don't want any trouble in this country. So I want to use this, the medium, to tell our brothers and sisters, this is the only place we have. Please let us go peacefully and come out peacefully. But I believe someone is going to win, and that person is in Liberia.
Thank you so much. Couldn't help it any better. Have a nice day. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. William Talk, calling from Congo, sir.
Let's hear you, Williams.
Yeah, you know, first of all, I would like to say in Liberia, what we want with the Liberian is peace. The peace we want in the election. We don't want violence in the election. You know, first of all, I would like to say this, my brother. In Liberia, especially some of the elder people, I'm sorry to say this to them, some of the elder people. They come out, the potential, I said they are educated and which they are not educated. They wish God will make me to be somebody, which a big man in the government. I will open your education that from the 30 all the way to the 700 years, you will go there, you will learn.
But you can still do it, my man, you big man.
Huh?
You can still do it now, you big man.
True, I said God gave me the opportunity to do that.
But God gave you it already. It was you.
It happened by God power. I will educate from 30 up to 70 because we are not educated. We can look up black, we say that green. We look up green, we say that red. Why I will go register in Manga? I know very well I register in Manga. There were ever necessity of documents in a particular area, my registration area is placed. I will make sure I will move here and go to Banga to verify my name. I will not come out and start talking different things. You see, that's why we say we want peace in the country. Because we Liberian, many of us, we are not educated. Thank you very much, my brother.
Thank you so much for calling. Have a nice day. 0770-907-907. 0880-907-907. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
How are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. And you?
I'm okay. My name is Jamal K. Juma.
Joma K. Joma.
Kemo.
Or
K.
Kemo.
Yeah, I'm calling for Clara.
Let's hear you, Kemo.
Yeah, so Liberia, we are calling for peace. Peace is very good for the nation. When you say peace, you can do anything what you want. But we're not against no problem. But we are calling for peace. And the ruling party, they are calling for peace and they are not ready for peace. Why I'm saying that?
Come on, you're lying. You got to change your location. Good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Hello?
Lower your radio. Lower the radio or move away from it.
Okay, hello?
Yeah, I'm getting you now.
Okay. Good afternoon. Hello?
Let's hear you. I'm getting you. Speak.
Okay, I said good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon.
Okay.
What is your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, this is Mr. Wambley Bedford calling from District 16, Borough of Newtown.
District 16. Let's hear you.
Yeah. Okay. You see, you have said it all. And mostly, the point that you stressed on relative to this the debate, it is very important. And you said it. But it looks like our so-called politicians, they are afraid of this debate. They are afraid of debate. But so be it. I just want to admonish our voters. They should vote wisely. They should avoid violence. We want a violence-free election because our international partners are watching us keenly to see whether we do all these things. And this is what we are praying for. It should not happen. And we are admonishing the Election Commission to do the right thing. Vote. Those that will vote, when the election come out, give the result that the person it belongs to. If it is for this party, if the party wins, don't be upset. You should carry your duty without fear or favor. Thank you very much.
Thank you for calling. Have a nice day. Good
Okay,
afternoon.
you too.
Good afternoon. 0770 907 907 0880 907 907. Good afternoon.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Thank you for your information given to the Liberian people. My brother Ernest calling from Racket Community.
Ernest what?
Ernest Jabo. You get my Nina?
Yeah, we're waiting to hear you, Mr. Jabo.
Okay, all these things, the debate, they are good, but Liberian people can lie. They will come out and say all the sweet things, but you give them power, whether they will lie. What they will be saying over there, people here, they will never ever do it. There was some Liberia can't even listen to those debates. They will lie. They will tell sweet things, but give them power. They will not do nothing. And then for the netball, for me, I actually debated it in her because the election, she did all the things. But what happened now, something go on, she is responsible for it. She should have set a basis. If you get any creative remark, or if you lie to any candidate, you say the person do there, you don't got proof. They should have had fun for them. They all these things, they creative remark, the people using, they got to be using like Europe. But when the people say these things, she don't invite any of them. So I will bring her through by all this, they hate messages that are going around too. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling. Have a nice day. Going forward, I am convinced that the National Elections Commission will tighten its surveillance on these political parties and independent candidates legislatively. Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah.
I'm making a Pukano. I call from the pipeline community.
Let's hear you, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the education you just provided for the public, especially when it comes to electoral law, where a political party is not allowed to visit another political party, where you are not to use different languages, as party, logo and all of that. And I believe that the electorate, all the candidates, all of those president, vice president, they are aware of all of these rules. But yet, they allow their followers to go and cause this act. So now, that is when there is no rule of law in a country, that even if John knows very well that when he do things, nothing will come from out of that. So he will continue to do them. So with the election commission not doing her work on time, not informing the Liberian people as to what they're supposed to do or what she herself supposed to do as independent body, and that the head of the state, as long as the head is not willing to do exactly what is to be done, things will just happen and nothing will come from out of it. So the best thing is the rules of law is instilled that when John do wrong, John will be punished for that wrong. That's the only way we'll stop doing wrong things. So thank you for the education. Yes, we hear the education. We want to go by it, but as to whether the heads will follow the thing. Now you're talking about debate, right? Now that debate, like what you said, I really enjoy. If I was going to listen or if I had the opportunity to listen to the debate, I was going to make my decision from what I was hearing from the other candidates today. But I was not opportunity to listen to the debate. But however, there is Liberia. We love our country, and we hope that those in leadership, they should please do the right thing so that we all can follow them. Because the whole entire life we live in, social chicken round gone, and Liberia still remain, right? And don't go, Liberia still remain. So if you as the president here know that you will go, Liberia still remain. So what becomes of those that are not yet being born? That's my point. So thank you very much for your education.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You are on the air, sir. 0770-907-907, 0880-907-907. You're listening to Voice of Liberia 104.1 Monrovia, Voice of Liberia 89.7 Kakata Magibi County, Bits and Pieces on this 3rd day of October with 7 days to balloting. 7 days we've got to balloting.
I think I stay on the line, right?
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah, have a nice day.
All right.
Good afternoon. 0770-907-907. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, my brother. Thank you. My name is Woja Sharif from the Rock Hill community. Hello?
Yeah, we are listening to you, Sharif.
Yeah, first of all, I want to thank you for the knowledge that you share on the air for us. I think it's welcoming. And also, I want to ask all Liberians that we will be peaceful in these elections. We know that we are all Liberians, and we only going to make a decision for the far march of our country. So we should be at peace with one another until we can make that decision. To the election commission, I really want to say that they are honor staff, because some of these things you put forward, you need to have staff that will monitor, that will document these things, so that they will be able to report these things. And even the qualification of people becoming candidates. Some people go to the bank and they just mango some things and then get their name and bank slip and things and bring it. And the election commission don't go there to follow up. And follow up how these people obtain their bank record and statement to really follow up. So they are honor staff. So as a result, you see all kinds of people becoming candidates. Only because they want to sit there, and as a result, but they are not prepared, and the country will not move the way it ought to move. So the commission should be impartial, very clear to the point. We are all Liberians, no matter what it is. Once we give her the power to become the commissioner, she must serve Liberia. She's not serving an individual. She must serve Liberia. Forget about who nominated her or whatever. She must serve Liberia. At the end of the day, Liberia the one will look out and say, "We're done." So that's my take this afternoon.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, they are. We've got no reason to believe that they aren't. They are autonomous. They got that right from the law. Section 2.9 says power and duties. The commission, as an autonomous agency of government, independent of any branch of the government, shall have the following powers and duties: to administer and enforce all laws relative to the conduct of elections throughout the Republic of Liberia. B, to organize the office of the commission in manner as may be necessary and practicable for the effective operation of the commission. C, to propose to the national legislature for enactment, amendment to, and repeal of any provision of the election law. D, to give accreditation to and register all political parties and independent candidates who meet the minimum registrations laid down by the commission, by which authority they may exercise practical political franchise under relevant provisions of the Constitution. So, Chief, yeah, you're right. They are, and they will remain credible. We've got no reason to doubt that they aren't credible. But there are some anomalies that you don't want to leave out but talk about, like what I saw in their document, that these things they ought to. You can find a political party. When you find a political party A start making statements from their people through their songs, through words, through placards, posters. When you notice it and you call and say it publicly, and you find that we have found the National Elections Commission has drawn the attention of political party A to saying this, which is a breach of section 10.22 of the 1986 elections law, which calls for a fine of $1,000. That political party is hereby fined. Hence, we are also notifying the national security of this expression used by this political party. So right there, everybody will say yes, no way. So when they be doing it now, they continue, their way now, everybody will know. So they will not be blaming NEC. But NEC has not been doing it. That's the problem. That's the problem I get with NEC. That's the problem some of you have too. They ought to do it. Even now, with these 7 days to go, during and after. The law ain't say when election finish, everybody finish voting, then you start causing your friend. You that no, the election stay on. After voting, it mean the election end. Because there are plenty things that can happen. Some people will say, oh, I was cheated. Some people will say ballot box or ballots were stuffed in this box. Some people say National Elections Commission, the counting did not go well. So now will say, okay, the law say we must look at it, Google. Saying you say the counting did not go well, you were cheated, we can't do a recount. You hear all those expressions, all those jargons. Yeah. What that means is the process is still on. So even in that time, you look at your friend, you call him all kinds of names, you start insulting the institution, saying all kinds of things, then you are in breach of the law. So now can say, police, you please take care of it. Simple as that. All right, thank you ever so much, man. We appreciate all of you who spice up the show. Tomorrow, if it goes well, we will talk with one of the renowned voices in Liberia. He was very vocal or known in the government of, or the reign of former President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. He is in Lao in this regime. He will be in tomorrow. It is my understanding that he's not comfortable with how things are going. And so he will be in tomorrow. You want to listen to him. It is going to be one of great interest. You don't want to miss it. I try bringing in Harry Ado, who is the executive director of Integrity Watch, because the National Elections Law talk about campaign finance. By now, you should know how many dollars, as the law said, how many dollars each political party will operate in. Say, if the law said that each party has $500 to to operate in as their budget. How they use that 500, they ought to give account. If the 500 is exhausted and they are bringing in more and more, many more campaign materials, and they are going out, you have to know. Like we're hearing some people say, oh, the president and his party, they're using helicopter to campaign. So that what they have. Some people say during Ellen's time, they use helicopter, all kinds of stuff you're hearing. But those are not the issues. Campaign finance now will want to know that if the law say you have $500 as your budget, from this time to this time, your materials purchase, the kind of materials does not matter, but the materials purchase, the number and how they are purchased, from where. The law also say you can solicit money, you can ask for help, but the law provides also how that money, from whom the money can come from, and how the National Elections Commission must be in the know. That I talk all that one year. Some of you who were listening 2 weeks ago, you heard it. So I tried now, since NEC said that they enter a memorandum of understanding with Integrity Watch, I thought to call Mr. Addo. We've been talking about it, but he will give assurance and he will not show up. So I think that most of these integrity institutions, they are accomplices to integrity crime also. Because you know why? In these times, people don't have to be begging you to come and explain. It's an obligation. That's transparency. That's accountability. It's not when you call a news conference and then you say this group is overspending. How much time? So when a radio station says, my man can't sit and talk for 1 hour, 30 minutes, it is the radio station corporate social responsibility, given the time that we're in, so that the people know, because the radio station is at the disposal of the people. The radio station is under obligation to serve the people. So let the people know when they see all these cars all around, small party, you look at some party, they didn't even get 2 TD posters. Some candidate, you can hardly see the poster around. They get 1 car, 1 pickup, moving all around with it. Then you have the other people. They get 3,000 cars, 4,000 motorbikes, 500 pickups. The law say, but your 500 you operating in, that 500 you have exhausted it, but you're going over. So where you getting that money from? Where that money coming from? You putting the other people in disadvantaged position. Those of you who have been following football games, that's the problem now that Barcelona stays struggling. And what happened? UEFA looks at it. UEFA said, but the thing here, if we continue, the whole of the football world will get a problem. And then everything will break down. So instead of few teams overspending the other teams, let's set a ceiling that every European club, this is how you should operate. This is the man you should operate in. They call it financial fair play rule. That Barcelona look at it because the other team didn't get money, and they get money, they will overspend to get a player. Real Madrid look at it and say, oh, Napoli ain't got money. So they're holding on to the player. And they saying 20 million for that player, we put in 25. Because they ain't get it. So the people said no. Let day now, it will be bad. So let every European club, let every club that are members of FIFA have a ceiling. Why is that? Transparency, accountability. That's the same thing in campaign politics. They call it campaign finance, campaign regulation, so that you will know, so that you can. Harold Addo had a press conference, I think I know how many weeks ago. What did he say? He inserted that line in his statement. He said some parties are overspending the others. So, NEC ain't get time to know. Now you won't know where the people getting the money from, how the people getting the money. when they have a budget of 500, even they can bring in 2 million into the country. They can bring in 50 million. Next day, try calling anybody to check. So sometimes when I hear the people talking about transparency, oh, the person not transparent, oh, the other institution, other people pressing people for accountability. The whole country here, nobody transparent, nobody clean. Nobody. Everybody, down to the people who call themselves Integrity Watch, Center for Transparency and Accountability, and all the other people, media institutions, civil society, everybody, churches, mosques, nobody transparent. Because what you ought to do when you see it, you know that you ought to do it and you refuse to do it. Like Integrity Watch people, they should be moving from radio stations to radio stations like the international partners are helping. They are transparent enough. They are explaining something. They are exposing some things. Why? Because it's integral. It's sine qua non to transparent elections. So they should be moving from radio station to radio station, explaining that, oh, look, the other party is spending this way, oh, they want it wrong, oh, the law said they want, oh, the law said they want, you see the other party spending this way, this one will happen, oh, this one will not happen. But they refuse. All of them sitting down. Then, when everything finished, when something happen in government or in opposition, then you see, they say, the government is corrupt, the government, then there, all of them contributing, all of them. This is the time you ought to say, we got 7 days to go. You think after the election, you able to call anybody on the basis of accountability? You able to call any political party? By now, you should have a rough understanding. When you see the women doing it, yeah, say they think the women extra. No, the women are extra. The women sex system standard. Sorry, I'm not sounding racist, but that's it. We can't. That's not how we build democracy. All these integrated institutions, they're not checkmating any one of those political parties and independent candidates. The only thing you can hear them doing, we're going to a meeting with EU, we're having a meeting with the European Union, with the American Embassy, and time going. You and I should have a full understanding right now. You know how many years it been? People ain't even know about campaign finance. They ain't even know. They just see people spending, political parties, independent candidates. They're spending all over the place, whichever way they want to spend. You see anybody checkmating them? Because you have never been exposed to it. The same people who are exposed, who know it, will sit and close more. So all of them have been stabbing this country in the back. People should not be begging integrated institutions to move. When a radio station invited, you should be even excited. The post said and talk. 1 hour, 30 minutes, talk, explain to the people. 30 minutes for the people to ask their questions so they will know. It's part of the transparent aspect. It's integrity. How can you claim to be an integrity institution? You're hiding from the people. You want to tell the people what is what. How integrity is your integrity. Man, thank you ever so much. That's all the time we've got to go. So today is the Champions League, eh? Who are playing today? Who I know who are playing today. Dente, who are playing the birthday man? UEFA Champions League. It's today. I think we're playing tomorrow. Yeah, I think FC Barcelona is playing tomorrow. I want to believe so. We're playing tomorrow. Real Madrid are playing today. Yeah. Breaking Heart coming. That's 7 o'clock. Some people already got Breaking Heart. Some people already got Breaking Heart. I know who are playing the Dente. Please help me, I beg you. Let me just run a few lines as we close. Who are playing today? I think Real Madrid is playing. Chelsea playing today too. Arsenal, who are playing? Maybe I'll help you with a few lines. Let my boy Dente Weir help me with a few. Let me see. So that's it, though. That's it. Thank you ever so much. Spain, Germany, France. PSG is gelling. They beat Borussia Dortmund, I think, in the first round 2 or 3. They're gelling. They're doing extremely well. Okay. So today, Group A, Group B, Group C. These are the groups that are playing today. Group D. So today is FC Copenhagen, Bayern Munich. I see 1900 hour. That means 4 o'clock in Liberia. 1900 hours is 7 o'clock. Okay. Manchester United, Galatasaray. And then you have Group B. You have Lens. Oh, what happened here? He came back. Hey. He doesn't. Yeah. You have Lens and Arsenal. Then you have PS Eindhoven, Sevilla. Group C, Union Berlin, FC Braga. Oh, Napoli and Real Madrid, 7 p.m. Napoli and Real Madrid. Then you have FC Salzburg and Real Sociedad, Inter Milan, Benfica, Luther. Okay. All right. So Real Madrid and Napoli. It's a good game to watch. Good game. And then you have Arsenal, you have PSV and Sevilla. Okay, man. All right. So to all the sports fans, thank you ever so much. Wish that your team win tomorrow. I think it's our team, the world's greatest, most watched, most talked about, most famous club, FC Barcelona, on tomorrow. All right. Thank you ever so much. That's all the time we've got. We're back tomorrow if God permits. Let me say thanks to Daniel Salif Secret in Kakatamagibi County, coordinating things there. Voice of Liberia 89.7. Abraham Dente Wia in Morovia, Voice of Liberia 104.1, who is coordinating everything. Yeah, I'm just doing the talking, but Abraham Dente Wia is the one who is doing everything. And his birthday comes on the 7th of October. So it's going to be the 5th of October. So it's going to be jolly. That's few days from now, 2 days from now. So Yahoo, Abraham Dente, you'll start bringing the man Gavo, Voice of Liberia fans. Now only the people who talking, the people you can see that y'all can celebrate with. The people that behind the scene are the main people of all the people who can talk. So that plenty people can wear the stage. Okay, man. So say happy birthday to Abraham Denti Weir. And thank you ever so much for coordinating things and all of you. My name is Sam Andrews. We're back tomorrow, if God permits.
Don't